weird because their view of people is different than my view of people. And it's like that's the first time I kind of ran into a little bit of racism, not much, but it's like, well, how do you know? You've never met anybody, huh? How's that work? I had Dwayne. Dwayne and I played all the time.
Right.
It's great. No big deal, right? Holy moly, look at this. It's a huge house, right? But I also figured out that, it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, you're just people, right? You have the same issues, same stuff going on. And it gave me opportunity that I didn't have in Ohio. I actually, my parents shoved me in a Jesuit high school because the local high school had a 33% graduation to college rate. And they thought that was a little low.
I
I
went,
just
I, I went state and well, I'm at least 60 pounds heavier than I was when I was a cross country star. I mean, I was a state runner. Uh,
That's awesome. You were 100 times better than I was. I joined because it was the only co-ed sport. And number two is it was prep for track, but the third thing was, like I said, you get to meet people the week before. And
did you run a mile or 2 mile too?
so it was 3.5 miles.
No, I know that part was. I'm talking about in track. Did you take the long distance track?
No, I did pole vaulting.
So
I
you just
sprinting.
cross country to keep you in shape for the pole.
Yeah, that was the theory, right? I didn't know any better, right? To upper middle class, preppiest place in the country. And, I, at one point in time, I vividly remember I was arguing with the president of W. Granger, right? He was at our house because my dad does stuff like that. And,
What is
and I was,
WW Granger?
it's a huge company that does industrial supply.
Okay, yeah, GRA.
W. Granger,
Yeah,
whatever it was,
GRA.
right? He
Yep.
he lived in the same town, and my dad was doing work for him or whatever, and I was that snarky teenager, so I was arguing with like this guy.
Welcome to the Dr. Smiley Show. We have Robert Slayton here. I met him at the Amplify conference, and hello to you too, Robert.
I'm waving at the audience.
I know you're
That
waiting. I
mysterious
just
audience, you already see me. That's okay.
Well, welcome to Dr. Smiley Show, where we amplify the goodness of people, leaders, influencers, people bringing hope and inspiration to the world. So, thank you also for sending me two of your books. I
Of
appreciate
course.
and all kinds of goodies. I mean, I got a postcard. I got to white this out a little bit so I can send it as a postcard to people.
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually had postcards when I did 300 posts on my blog. I actually created a postcard for it. And
Awesome.
I one of your books. Oh, and remember this?
I do remember that
I
you.
saved it. Just saying.
Well, we have a nice picture of you at the Amplify conference, and if it wasn't for Beth Robbins speaking there and inviting me as her plus one, because when you're speaking, you get some extra tickets. I was very
Yeah.
happy that I got to go there. Really heart-centered leaders at that event.
It was great. I mean, I met so many cool people there. The conference itself, the workshop is great, but it's the people were awesome.
Right. You seem like a person that looks for those high quality events.
I do. I do. I mean, even if the event is worthless, sitting there away from what you normally do, you're going
Mhm.
to come up with creative ideas. You're going to come up and meet people who are really cool people,
Mhm.
and you get to hang out with them. I mean, come on, this is cool. And I used ChatGPT to figure out where I could do some swing dancing on that Friday. So that was a lot of fun.
Well, I've never been to a conference that the host was so friggin' talented and could rap. I mean, Eminem, look out.
He was good. Sean was great. I
Yeah,
mean, I
Sean
appreciated him
can
and
Sean
everything he
can
did,
throw
and
down.
he practiced what he preached, which very few people do. And that was good. And he's a great guy, very personable.
Well, we have an event called the Poets United. It's the national holiday for poets. It's October
Ooh.
2nd. And I have got to let Sean know about that because his spoken word, his poetry. And by the way, are you a poet?
Yep.
Okay, you don't have to be a published poet. We prefer published poets, but we're throwing out that is an invitation for not just you, Robert, but anybody that Robert, because good people. And I was very impressed before the show when I said, "Hey, I'm looking for some more authors." You go, "I only know 3,600." I'm like, "That's it."
Yeah, that's all. I'm sorry. It's not that many, but you'll survive.
I usually don't let anyone on the show unless they know 4,000. So this is
Oh, I'm very privileged. I appreciate that.
well, we did have a great conversation at the event, and I am very excited to have you on the show. We didn't rush getting this show together so we could actually have a little more time to get to know each other. So I wanted the audience to learn about who you are more than anything else in the beginning of the show, which is where were you born and what was your childhood like?
Let's see. Everybody asks me where my hometown is, and I kind of say I don't have one, to tell the truth. I started out on the East Coast, bedroom community of Philadelphia, and it was great. I loved it. I was there. I went to an integrated high school, and everybody had a bachelor's degree or higher. That beautiful,
Wouldn't that
house.
suck if you weren't allowed to go into an integrated high school? I mean, that was
Well, it plays into the next phase, you
I
see. I
okay.
didn't realize it was integrated. I just thought it was the elementary school. It was just an elementary school. We were just playing with friends, right? No big
Yeah.
deal. And then my dad up and moves us to a rural place outside of Toledo, Ohio, called Waterville, okay, which is close to Maumee. Some people know Maumee or Perrysburg, just outside of Toledo.
Hmm.
And the person across the street uh, stopped school at eighth grade and went to work for the local granary, and he'd worked there for over 50 years. And so it's a little bit of a culture shock. And then our house, there were two houses on our block. Blocks are 1 mile long, and we had a farmer's pond behind us, and then it was about a mile before the next house behind us.
How many blocks in a row could you walk?
Well,
I mean, my
to
point is, if it was a mile a block, that's interesting. If it was 26 blocks and you could do a marathon, that'd be
well, you could. Well, you just run up and around and back and
nice.
over, and you just do that a couple of times. I mean, across the street there were seven houses, so we had lots of houses, seven, right?
Yeah.
But it's a little bit of a culture shock because I'm used to one thing, and then I moved in and put in a middle school at that point in time, and you know, it's weird because their view of people is different than my view of people. And it's like that's the first time I kind of ran into a little bit of racism, not much, but it's like, well, how do you know? You've never met anybody, huh? How's that work? I had Dwayne. Dwayne and I played all the time.
Right.
It's great, no big deal. So, but when I
And that
moved
that
over,
is the nature. That is the nature of hatred and discrimination. Is you have no idea what you're hating. I
it
mean,
is. Oh yeah, 100%. The best thing that in the world that you can do is you can raise two people who normally should hate each other side by side. Because you know what? When you're kids, you're kids. That's it. Hey, let's play. Let's do something.
well,
And
and the
but
other part of it, Robert, is that the hatred is not just the ignorance, but that if they were brought up in another area, they can't fathom they would be a different person, and vice versa. Someone that loves everybody, they can't fathom that they were brought up in that environment you're talking about, that they might be very skewed on how they look at humanity.
yeah, it was just very weird.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't really want to focus on that.
Well, I just want to talk 2 hours about that part, and then we could just wrap up real quick.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, we could talk about stuff that you get a lot of people trolling on your thing about. We could talk about Israel versus Hamas. We can do all
Yes,
that
let's
stuff because
go.
it's a light topic.
It's
Nobody really cares about it. And so
there you
anyway,
have it.
let's not go down that
Yeah,
slippery
we're
slope.
not going to go down
So,
that.
but the thing that Ohio gave me is a sense of community. And so there were a couple of things that were fascinating to me. Number one is um, when I went over to a friend's house, because way back then we would actually physically go to their house, knock on the door, is Kirk available? And that's great. If they weren't, the parents would actually invite me in, give me lemonade and cookies, and actually talk to me. And I'm a 9-year-old kid, right? I've never had this happen in my life. The other thing is if you go over and somebody's doing something, right? Maybe they're working in the yard and stuff. You just go and you help. And that's so cool. There were times I was waiting for the bus and it was very cold out. Somebody, cars going by and they slow down and they stop saying, "Hey, are you part of this school?" And I said, "Yeah." It says, "Oh, I just heard there's a 40-minute delay. Are you okay? Do you need anything?" Right? And that's cool. And then from there, I was there through 15, 16, and then I moved out to Illinois, to Lake Forest, Illinois, which another culture shock,
Yeah.
right? Because it's a very, very wealthy
How
area.
old were how old were you then?
I was just turning 16. So
Okay.
the summer I turned 16. And I vividly remember, you gather your friends, you have fun. And the first time I went over to one of my friends' houses, right? I walked through the door and I'm going, right? Holy moly, look at this. It's a huge house, right? But I also figured out that, it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, you're just people, right? You have the same issues, same stuff going on. And it gave me opportunity that I didn't have in Ohio. I actually, my parents shoved me in a Jesuit high school because the local high school had a 33% graduation to college rate. And they thought that was a little low. And so they put me in a Jesuit high school, which was great. It was all male, had to wear a tie, sweater. You get DCV, dress code violations, if you violated it. And it was nice, right? But I was also a pencil pushing nerd. I literally had a pocket protector. You couldn't see it, it was behind the sweater, but I actually had a pocket protector.
They were the best.
And never did fast dancing, never did this, never did that. And I made a decision that when I moved to Illinois, I was going to be somebody else. My brother graduated. Nobody knew my brother because my brother is 2 years ahead of me, right, in school. So everybody thought I was like my brother because that's the way it works. But I was moving to a new place. Nobody knew my brother. He graduated. And I decided I wanted to be somebody else. And so I joined cross country. I joined
Really?
track. Yeah, yeah. So it's there's a whole. So my sophomore year in high school, this is at the Jesuit High School, St. John's Jesuit, Toledo, Ohio. I broad jumped 8 foot 11 inches, and Mr. Byer, who is also the track coach, who was also the football coach, said, "I want you out here tomorrow for track." And me, I don't know any better. So you know what happens? I go out, I show up for track. And so that was my first taste of actually doing something physical. And I did, long jump and all this other kind of stuff, but it kind of gave me a taste for it. And when I moved to Illinois, I had a strong sense that I wanted to be more who I wanted to be. Okay.
Mhm.
So when I moved, I decided, hey, I'm going to join track. But in anticipation of that, I'll join cross country first. And the nice thing about cross country is it starts about a week before. So you get to meet people before you show up at school. And that was really cool. I see I had this plan. I had a plan.
That's a good plan.
Hard to believe I had a plan.
I'm very excited about this because cross country is quite a sport. I did it for 4 years.
Oh,
I went
I
I,
can tell.
I went state and well, I'm at least 60 pounds heavier than I was when I was a cross country star. I mean, I was a state runner. Uh,
That's awesome. You were 100 times better than I was. I joined because it was the only co-ed sport. And number two is it was prep for track, but the third thing was, like I said, you get to meet people a week before. And
did you run a mile or 2 mile too?
so it was 3.5 miles.
No, I know that part was. I'm talking about in track. Did you take the long distance track?
No, I did pole vaulting.
So
I did
you just
sprinting.
cross country to keep you in shape for the pole.
Yeah, that was the
Got
theory, right? I didn't know any better, right? I just did stuff, right? I've been just doing stuff my whole life. You'll see that as it goes along. And so I said, you know what? I wanted to join. So I joined track. It was great. I still have friends from track. And I was only there for 2 years. I have lifelong friends. And I can't tell you how thankful I am that I did that. And I also was in choir and marching band, a bunch of other stuff. Because people ask me to do stuff and I just kind of do it. So I joined that. And then I also joined a bunch of groups, right? Like philosophy club and a bunch of different clubs. Because again, my theory is I'll join 4 or 5, try them, and I'll stick with 1 or 2. And the nice part about that is even when you don't go anymore, you still have met people in that group. And so again, you get another formative piece, touch. Make sense?
Yep.
And I was in marching band. I was still in marching band, for better or for worse. And I was the only person who actually knew how to march at Lake Forest. They didn't know how to march, so I knew how to march. And so pretty much the band director. I don't know if there's a ballot to see who's drum major. I don't know if he rigged it so that I became drum major, but I became drum major, which means I just walked in front in a parade. No big deal. They still didn't do marching, but that's okay. Anyway, but I wanted to do fast dancing. I wanted to do a lot of stuff that I hadn't done before, and I vividly remember. And remember, this is in the '80s, right? This is when nerds and geeks were looked down upon. Just look at Revenge of the Nerds, right? This is before that became a thing where nerds were like ruling the world. And so I was at my locker. A football player was 2 lockers down, and I had those nerd pheromones going because I am right. I'm a bibliophile. I love books. I love us. And he kind of looks at me and goes, "So what do you do?" I look up at him and go, "Well, I do cross country and track." He goes, "Okay." Shut his locker and walk away. That was a win in my book. That was an ultimate win. Holy moly. This is worth the price of admission. And and then the first time I went out to dance, we had a school dance. We actually had him in the gym at that point in time. And I'd done slow dancing. I had a girlfriend back in Ohio, but I hadn't done, just go out and dance. And so the music came on, I went out and nobody was around me. And I'm out there on the dance floor. It's like, oh crap, is anybody gonna come out? And then suddenly people came out and they kind of look at me and they just started dancing because they don't know any better, right?
Mm.
And one of the best things I did was choose pole vaulting because pole vaulters are crazy.
They are.
And so whenever I make a social gap, because I'm from Ohio and I'm in this, a very upper crusty place, when I make a social gap, somebody says, "Oh, well, he's a pole vaulter." And so, and you know how you judge whether a person's going to be a good pole vaulter or not? Have you ever been through that process?
I haven't.
So we take them to the bleachers and we put the pit underneath. The pit is the big mat that's like 4 feet thick.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to jump off the back of the bleachers into the pit. If they do that, that's pretty good. If they do a flip and do weird stuff, then they're pole vault material because you have to be kind of mildly crazy to do it. So it was fun.
That is fun.
But yeah, I mean that was kind of the progression. So I went from, outside of Philadelphia, very rural, to upper middle class, preppiest place in the country. And I at one point in time, I vividly remember I was arguing with the president of W.W. Granger, right? He was at our house because my dad does stuff like that. And
What is
I was
W.W. Granger?
It's a huge company that does industrial supply.
Okay, yeah, GRA.
W. Granger, whatever it was,
GRA.
right?
Yep.
He lived in the same town, and my dad was doing work for him or whatever. And I was that snarky teenager, so I was arguing with like this guy. Anyway, but
I applaud you on the nerd comment because when I taught science, I would tell the kids, they would say, "Are you a nerd?" I go, "I wish," because they rule the world.
yeah, I know enough to be dangerous than to be argumentative. How about that?
Well, I want to go back and just show that when I met you, this is the lovely smile you.
Yeah, see the same shirt because I'm trying to brand. Here,
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, what is your faith?
What's my faith?
Mm-hmm.
Been raised Christian Presbyterian my whole life, and I'm very deep into it. I'm have been an elder and a deacon And in the Presbyterian world, you're installed or uninstalled. So I'm an uninstalled elder slash deacon, but I'm ordained in that. I do believe everybody is allowed to have their own faith. I think people need to find their own way to God. And there was one point in 2010, 2011, I did a blog talk radio program for a year and a half with a friend, and we would interview light workers around the world, which obviously,
Mm.
you know, ain't much Christian there, but it sure was a lot of fun. And I'm still friends with a lot of people I did the podcasts with. So
I don't really go that direction very often, but since you had brought up integrated and all that other stuff, I felt, what the heck? We'll just ask that.
no, you're allowed to. You do you, right? If you feel this is the way you want to go, you go. So, but I just, I've been in Bible study for more than 20 years, men's daybreakers.
Mhm.
It was this morning at 6 a.m. So I did that before coming here. And it's, you get your roots.
Mhm.
It's helped a lot. I struggled sometimes in having a community to support you. I mean, when I was starting my insurance practice, I didn't have two nickels to rub together. And I just remember, there's a person at the church who would give away about 15 baskets. Baskets would have food and other things around Christmas time. And I got one of the baskets for me and my family. And I was so touched for that, that people were seeing me and helping out. And so, I don't care if it's a Christian community, and I don't care if it's Jewish, I don't care if it's, Islam or anything else, Muslim. The community is important. Wherever you find it, keep it, love it, and because you can contribute and they contribute to you.
100%. Yes. Beautiful sentiments. And that is what the Key Smiling Movement's about. It is a community of people that are givers and supporters and collaborators. So you have been not just welcome, but obviously amplified today. Yes. So tell us more about how you either something you learned, a defining moment that caused you to be who you are today.
Well, we already talked about it, where I made a conscious decision to be who. It wasn't being somebody new. It was actually being who I really was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people don't understand. You hear about people growing.
Right.
You're not really growing and becoming bigger. What you're doing is you're uncovering the beauty that's already inside you, the perfection that's already inside you. And so I've reinvented myself multiple times through the years. My high school quote, because I know you're going to ask about quotes,
I was just about to ask that.
was I'll do anything once, twice if I like it.
So there is a quote at the end that I say, a quote you live by. So I guess we're going to hear that now, not later.
I have another quote I can give too.
Oh, then we'll say that one. Say that.
I collect quotes. I do a quote a day out online too. So,
you?
I do. I collected more than 1,000 quotes. And a couple of years ago, I wrote kind of like, what do people need? People need daily inspiration. They kind of want a weekly roundup and maybe once monthly, something a little bit deeper. And so I was looking at that and I thought, well, I have a bunch of quotes. I mean, they're all written on index cards. They're about this thick, right?
Right.
And it's like, well, I can just start saying those. So what I did is you record it, right? You press record, you say the quote, you press stop, you put it down, and you do the next one, the next one, next one. And then people said, well, you should really be asking questions about it too. It's like, okay. So I did it, and then I would ask a question down below. And then I actually do some ruminations and ask questions during it now. So it's been a development. And the quotes, I mean, just on YouTube Shorts, they get between 200 and 2,000 views each one.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just playing around. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm
Yeah,
just having
that's
fun.
pretty significant. I'd like to make sure we get a link. Do you recall the quote you did today?
Sure. Yeah, no issues. We'll get that to you.
Yeah.
So it's
Do you remember the quote though today? The one that you did today?
the quote from today.
Yeah, or yesterday, whichever one.
Oh Lord,
Oh, and do
no.
you want to share the screen and show people what it is?
Yeah, let me pull it up. So
Yeah, I'm digging this. This is like we're doing all kinds of new stuff here. We're talking about faith, and
Yep.
we get to show your YouTube channel. This is new. And by the way, while you're doing this, I'll show people. I'll do a shameless plug for me. Okay, is that cool?
Yes, please.
So I have the most powerful quotes in the world for leaders and speakers. It took me 17 years to do this, and I want to tell you, I have to start my book off silly. So you ready for silly?
Yes.
Never say or write a quote that offers no meaning or value, and you can quote me on this, Ken Richon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
And then,
good.
and then my friend who loves quotes, his name is MJ Million. He
Mhm.
has a quote is a soundbite of clarity.
I like that.
So
So if
I'll
you look
stop
at the,
sharing, and I'm ready for you. You can show your screen if you'd like,
okay, good. Let me share.
because we're gonna get you some traffic.
So I'm gonna show you first off. This is my channel. This is
That is
Can I Have a
crazy.
Moment?
Wow,
Isn't that crazy?
that is crazy.
I just make crap up. That's all I do. But
I'm
if you notice, this quote got 1700. Some quotes get, 90. That's okay, right?
yeah,
Who cares? Does it really matter?
it doesn't.
When you go to content, I have regular videos, which don't get many views. It's the shorts that really hit.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one today is from Henry David Thoreau. And I also have some shorts from, if it's a long quote, I use Substack. Substack will cut it into clips. Substack also posts to this YouTube channel. So I do it on Substack and it automatically shoves it over here, which is great. So here's the one now. Why am I doing this?
Why are you doing this? No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're doing this, by the way.
Here's a quote by Henry David Thoreau. And if you haven't read some of his books, especially the one where he stays in the by the lake, next to the lake for a year, you should really read it, especially if you like the outdoors. Be not simply good, be good for something. So you can be good and be quiet, but what is your, I can't say purpose, but what are you trying to do, right? Are you good for something? Are you trying to help somebody out? Are you trying to forward a cause? What are your thoughts on being good for something versus just being good?
Hmm. I
That's
gotta
it.
say, I go back to your analytics again if you got a second.
Hold on, I gotta stop it. Okay.
And this is a brand new aspect of the show. I've never thought of doing this, but I got to say, I love going into someone who is nerdesque. We'll call it nerdesque.
I just, well, here, okay, this is what I did last week. I'm in Substack and I love Substack. I have almost 700 posts. So if you really want to go down the rabbit hole and see the crap in my head,
Yeah.
Substack's the place to do it. But I was looking, it's like, oh, I try to do a voiceover for my text also. Um, I can connect up Spotify and Apple Podcasts to Substack. And I can connect my voiceovers because when I do a text post, right, I just kind of do writing. I do a voiceover of it and I can have that go out. So I actually have two channels on Spotify. One is for my podcast, which I have about eight. I need to do more interviews. It's been a back burner thing. But this, I have another one, which is just kind of me, right, talking. And and it doesn't take me any extra work. It just kind of loads up. And it's like, why not, right? And so, I have stuff on TikTok. TikTok is where I get more comments, to tell the truth,
Mhm.
until the government shuts it down, but whatever. And
Well,
so
I'm trying to play my cards right so I can get on your show.
no, I will have you on my show. I just haven't restarted it. I need to reboot it, is what I need to do.
I am very patient. I do want to ask you the analytics. You said as high as 2,000 just for a view, right? Just for
Yeah,
one. That's
yeah.
and how long have you had this? Had this? And what's the name of your?
A couple months.
What's the name of the channel?
Can I have a moment?
Can I have a moment? Okay.
I will, let's see, YouTube
Can I have a
Studio.
moment? And have you figured out how to do it in other languages?
So if you do at can I have a moment, Robert Slayton, can I have a moment is I guess the easiest way of doing it. No, it's actually if you do at sign can I have a moment,
We'll
and
put a link to make sure. We'll put a link to make sure. Don't worry about that.
yeah, well I'll do this. There you go. Ta-da.
Ta-da! And let's
Towards
see.
the-
So you have, so it's only been 2 months. You have 148 videos already, right? Is that what it says?
I don't know how many videos I have. I haven't even looked.
It says,
Yes, I have 148 videos. There you go. So maybe I don't know. Let's see how many shorts I have.
and then you're branding your shirt beautifully, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Oh, here I made Rice Krispie treats and cookies for my birthday.
Can I see the
Get a
analytics
thousand
again?
views.
I want to see the, 1,000 reviews for that one, right?
Yeah. Well, what it was, I'm a guy. Guys tend to don't not celebrate. Well, I've never celebrated my birthday per se. Family bakes a cake and stuff like that. I don't tell anybody about my birthday. I don't do any of that stuff because I didn't feel like it. But this time, I dance every Wednesday night, and my birthday is on a Wednesday.
You
And
can
I
stop
said, you know
sharing.
what?
You can stop sharing.
What?
You can stop sharing, or you can show analytics. I want to see you in the show. I don't want to see,
Oh
unless
yeah.
you're going to show something else.
There we go. So what happened was that I decided, you know what? I want to make chocolate chip cookies, and I had some friends there who were gluten intolerant, so I made Rice Krispie treats. And I actually put one in a bag for the one person who's severely, see, she can't have any cross contamination. And so I brought cookies and I brought Rice Krispie treats for my birthday. And what was fun is one of the persons there, they actually brought a button that says it's my birthday, so I had to wear that. And it was fun, right? I love giving. And on LinkedIn, I gave away my books. I did a post. If people wish me happy birthday on the post, I asked, well, pick a number between 1 and 4, which corresponds to one of my 4 books, right? And
Hmm.
whatever number they pick, they get that book. So that's
Very
what I did.
smart. What were your analytics again for the last 28 days? You don't have to show it if you don't, if you just remember you.
Oh, that's good. Hold on. Let me get.
Because my show is about as old as yours, and it's a good 10 weeks, I guess, at this point.
Well, it's the shorts that
I know.
drive it.
Right.
So I have 16,500 views, which is 13,000 more than usual.
That is really good.
Watch time is 31.8 hours, which is 86% more than the previous 28 days.
Yeah, go ahead and show that then. Show that. I want to do a
Sure, I'll
screenshot.
share it.
I'm
And well, and here's the thing. What happened was I did uh, a post on Substack for my business, right? It kind of did an explainer video and it cut it into shorts. And I uploaded those to YouTube. And I was in Reno, Nevada for an event. Actually, it was the big table with Laura Langmeyer. And I got this saying, hey, you've gotten 100 views. I'm thinking, whatever, 200, 800 views. And I'm going, of what? I didn't even remember what I did.
hmm. Yeah,
And
you can stop
so,
sharing. Thanks.
yeah, anyway, so
I'm very impressive though.
anymore. You
Yeah,
good with this?
yeah, I love it. I mean, I love the fact that you've done so many shorts and that you're consistent with it. And I think that's the way you grow your channel the quickest. But yeah, you've given me something to be inspired and aspire to. Let me show you this real quick.
Sure.
This is the new show, and we're sitting at about 332 videos,
That's great.
and
Well, you have a lot more subscribers too. So,
well, I mean, I have a lot of marketing happening to this show. But to your point on analytics, it's always something to learn. Here's my analytics. Let's see, where is it? There they are.
oh,
So
that's well, and you also are starting at a higher level than I am, right? 0 to 1,000 is 1,000, right? Percent
yeah,
kind of thing.
yep.
So it makes a lot of sense. Do you do any shorts or anything?
Yeah, and probably not enough. The content here, shorts,
Hmm.
a reasonable amount.
Okay.
I guess it's 30 per page. I would guess maybe 100 of them. Oh, it says 3 pages, so eight. I'd say 60 to 90 we've done.
Okay. No, it's just weird. Like I
Well,
said, I just make stuff up.
I like your shorts. I mean, I need to start doing that way. Like just
Oh, well, and here I wrote a post that what's really funny is eventually you get people who troll you, right?
Hmm.
So my philosophy is follow the energy.
Hmm.
So a person says, these videos are bad, which means, they're badly recorded. I said, stay tuned for more bad videos. That was my response, right? Another person says, I think I hate you. I say, hey man, you do you. I support you, whatever you want. And so they comment back saying, now I love you. And actually, just this past week, they said, I think I got misinterpreted on what I was trying to say. I was trying to be humorous. And so they actually apologized to me for putting that first comment. I don't really care, right? It doesn't bother me. If you want to troll me, it's great. Do it. If I respond, it's going to be a respond, follow the energy, right? Yeah, oh, it's horrible. Yeah, stay tuned for more bad stuff. It's good, right? I'm just having fun.
It's the engagement up. So
Oh, yeah.
let's talk about these books of yours. Now you sent me two, and we can talk about both if you'd like. But which one would you like to talk about first?
So we'll start with the healthcare
Okay.
manifesto, and then we'll go into the 33 ways, just briefly, right?
Yep.
Because what happened was I had written a chapter in a book, and that kind of wetted my whistle. And it was during COVID, and I wrote a 2-page manifesto of everything wrong with the health insurance world, with group health insurance. And that morphed into the healthcare manifesto, the book you're holding in your hands.
Yep.
And so I had it, I wrote it, and it's like, okay, what do I do with it? I didn't know what to do. I don't know how to publish. I don't know how to do anything, right? So I contacted, chatted Melissa Wilson, who I had talked to about a year and a half before, and she just kind of gave me an hour and a half of her time, just talking to me about the whole publishing industry and stuff. And so I say, hey, Melissa, what do I do? I don't know what to do. She says, cut me a check. And she walked shoulder to shoulder with me through the whole book publishing. So she got an editor, did the graphic design and everything like that, and we got it published. And self-published, which is great. I love control, right? And if you look at the back of the book, there's stuff in that book that has nothing to do with health insurance. I just, it's my book. I'm going to put it in, right? Because I want to. And that's kind of how it started. And then my third book, I realized nobody reads that book, so I did a little book of healthcare questions. So it was just about 35 pages, right? And a
Mhm.
friend wrote a couple of chapters in it too. And so I did that all on my own. I did by myself. And then the fourth book, which is 33 Ways, Melissa said, hey, would you like to write, the health insurance book in the series? So there are like 8 or 9 books and 33 Ways Not to Screw Up. And, you know, all the books look exactly the same. I like it. It's blue and gold, University of Michigan colors. So life is good. And
Well,
so
I have someone to connect you to, and since they have
they're not from Ohio State, are they?
they are very connected to your message and your book. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
I'm going to do a shameless plug again for her, but it's so that she actually sees your book.
Absolutely, you should.
So here is the Rebel Physician Manifesto by Kristen Coleman, and she also goes by Kristen Yates, but that's her podcast. I mean, that's her Audible. And so I'm going to connect you to her. We were very proud to publish this because it is such an important message. So
Yeah, no, I would love that. And so I'm starting up yet another company because I don't have enough to do in my life, right?
well, you
Slayton
always
Publishing.
need more. You need more stuff.
It's fun, right? Like I said, I just kind of do stuff. If it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it's okay. But I want to do health insurance literacy, and ultimately I want to do health advocacy literacy, because those are the two things we really need. You need to understand health insurance, how it works, how to fight against all the crap that happens once you have it. And again, this is United States based health insurance. Outside of this world, if you're watching from the UK and Germany or somewhere else,
You wouldn't understand that.
you thank God you don't. I've had to explain it to some people who come over. It's like, yeah, just
Well, it's like explaining
take
the
your
Estonian.
disbelief out, and we're going to talk about facts. But then there's
Yeah,
the
but
health
Robert,
advocacy. What?
it's like explaining to an Estonian taxes take more than 1 minute to do.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I agree. Well, Oh my gosh, that is the rabbit hole we could go down. I would love to have a flat tax, right?
I know.
Remember when they said you could do it on the back of an envelope, but then how many hundreds of thousands of people would be out of a job because,
It would crush our
they're trying to
economy.
do this and do that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, and where are we
Well, I
going?
mean, and also if our healthcare system just took care of patients, they would lose millions of jobs. I mean, there's just so many jobs in the bureaucracy of it.
It's one of the biggest economies. Cancer itself is one of the biggest economies.
Mhm.
So think about it. If you created a cheap, easy, effective way to cure cancer, do you really think you're going to live long enough to bring it to market? Probably not. Or else one of the big companies or pharma is going to take it. They're going to extract the pieces out of it, patent it so they can sell it for 30 to 50,000 or $3 million, which some companies do. Oh,
Right.
and by the way, if you're okay, so there are always consequences to everything. So the Affordable Care Act happened, and it caused that you have unlimited, basically, you have there is no cap on the amount of coverage you can get for annual or for lifetime. Before that, it usually was like 500,000 to a million per year, and maybe 5 million lifetime. So there are drugs out there, biologics, biosimilar, basically very unique drugs, and they're $3 million to administer. 3 million. Think about it. Now I have a question. If the maximum on a health insurance policy cover was $1 million, do you think that drug would cost $3 million? No, couldn't, because people would never buy it.
Right.
So part of the issue is we have too much going. And if you have an unlimited amount, they're going to charge an unlimited amount.
Right.
So they're going to charge you $3 million because the insurance company's going to pay for it. You're not paying directly, because if insurance went away tomorrow and everybody had to pay cash, right? The whole industry would first off collapse. But the other thing is everybody would take a haircut. A doctor making 300,000 to $3 million a year. And don't get me wrong, doctors work hard. They do a lot of stuff. I'm not trying to sell them short in their value to this whole industry. What I'm saying is there are consequences for what we do. And when your E&O insurance costs $300,000, well, you have to charge a lot just to pay for your E&O and just to pay for the billers. Every doctor usually has two billers. That's over $100,000 for that. Plus, let's say $100,000 to $300,000 for E&O insurance for, like, let's say you're a high risk pregnancy person, right?
Hmm.
So your nut is $400,000. You haven't even opened up the doors yet, right?
This doesn't sound pretty.
That stinks, you
Right.
know. And if you want to go if you really wanted to nationalize health insurance, you'd have to nationalize the doctors and hospitals. So, oh, you know what? You're not making $1 million a year. We're going to give you 250,000, which is the top of our scale. Are you okay with that? Right? That's why that's not going to happen. So there are other ways to do it. I have my own views on how we can do better on health insurance and the market and
Well,
benefits
give
and
one
stuff.
view. Give one view.
Well, I think part of the issue is hospitals and huge medical systems have a lot of administrators that are totally unnecessary, which their costs go up higher and higher and higher. If you get rid of that, the actual cost to provide care is a lot less. So that's number one. Number two is, so if I have commercial insurance, which is basically I have an individual policy or I have it through my company, and I go and get a knee replacement surgery and it costs me $30,000, right? If my mom, who's on Medicare, gets the same knee replacement surgery, it costs her $10,000 because commercial insurance is paying 300% of what Medicare pays. Does that sound right? So, I mean, there's some endemic issues, and then there's the medical loss ratios where companies can only keep 10, 15 or 20%, and that 15 to 20% has to pay for all their overhead, all sales costs, all back office and everything. So it's a disincentive to actually reduce costs because if something costs $10,000, right? So, this is how much the insurance costs. Well, charge you 15%, so $1,500, right? Well, if that same procedure costs $20,000, same work, but you get 15% of 20,000, now you get 3,000 in your pocket.
Right.
There's there are consequences for
Just
what we've
just
done.
as long as you do not say we have to remove the person who's monitoring the TPS reports. That's the only one I don't.
Well, Bob, I have 5 bosses. The only reason I do this is because I don't want to come and buy my desk.
The Office too. If we could get someone to fund it, we could write the Office 2 for healthcare. The health
Oh,
that'd
oh
be
my,
amazing.
that would be hilarious.
It would
No,
be very good.
yeah,
I don't know if it'd be better than the original, but it would give it a run for the money.
it, well, the problem is sometimes it might be so sad
Yeah.
into what people are
Well,
doing.
yeah, because some people would say, yeah, they would leave and go, that was a documentary. They fooled us. They'd made it sound like it was going to be The Office, but it's a documentary, and now I'm very sad.
Yeah, it's like, wow, people do this? That sucks. Give me a
I
Ted
mean,
Lasso.
there
I
are
love
there are some very serious problems, and as you said, if you can even live to bring something to market or have an invention that would save the day, I mean, they get.
well, I it's frustrating. The whole market is. That's why I wrote the book. I mean, there's a way that you can, if you're a larger company, you take risk upon yourself, you can lower the costs. Because if you get rid of the
Well,
players,
yeah, let's skip over to this actually. The 33 ways. Let's challenge you and do 66 ways. Okay, I'm just kidding. Let's do the best 3 ways that people don't know about that they would
to reduce costs,
yeah, reduce cost, yeah, and not just
well,
reduce
there are
cost, but
lots of
to
different things.
to,
So,
to maximize the value too. So either
yeah.
choice.
Well, there are a couple of things. Number one, that book actually has 3 videos and 2 spreadsheets because there's some people who can read and understand. There's some that read and don't understand. They need the video. And there are people who don't read and don't understand, and they're probably not even watching this.
I think
Okay.
this should have been smaller font, by the way.
Oh, no, I need it small because you're not supposed to read it.
Oh,
No.
okay, good.
Actually,
But
all
but
that stuff
there
is,
are those little guys here.
yeah, that's what it is. If you click on it, you actually see the
Oh,
full
I
sign.
did. I clicked on it, and it was not helpful. Look, watch.
Okay.
Okay, we've
I need more
digressed.
coffee for these comments. Anyway, no. Well, what part of it is there are a couple of things. Number one, you need to understand your health insurance. What do you have? I mean, honestly, do you have a PPO? Do you have an HMO? If you don't know, you don't know. The only people who know are the ones who've already had major issues, right? Number two, you need to choose what works best for you and your family. How do you do that? Well, there's
Is
a
there a
very
preference between HMO and PPO?
well, PPO, you can go to any doctor or hospital accepts the network without a referral.
Hmm.
HMO, you tend to have a primary care doctor. They refer you to somebody.
Yeah.
That's the difference. But yeah, I mean, there are even funky things. If you're in Florida on an HMO, it's usually a non-gated HMO, which means you can go to anybody without a referral. Wow, that's not so. It's really they're writing it on HMO paper, so there's no out-of-network coverage. There's only in-network except for emergencies. But know your coverage. Understand that it's the dollars out of your pocket. The deductible, the pocket maximum don't matter as much as the dollars out of your pocket in a typical year and a worst case year. So you just run 2 scenarios and you look at the dollars. A
Hmm.
lot of times the bronze plan is cheaper in a good year and is cheaper in a bad year because the maximum out of pocket is the same on the bronze plan versus the gold plan. Okay. Second thing is when the crap hits the fan, you need to understand that you can do something about it. You can escalate it. And that's important, right? Because out of all the claim denials, I think only 2 or 3% of people, let's say you need a procedure, very few people will actually appeal it. And they're counting on you not to. And so if you need it, you need to appeal it. And
Hmm.
there's a process for doing that. I have it in the book. Or if you want a different book, Marsha Allen's Never Pay the First Bill is great. Doing that. Marsha Allen was a great guy. He unfortunately passed away way too soon in his 50s. Um, and the third piece is, there are ways of reducing the cost of your medications. And so, sometimes if there are manufacturer coupons. If you're on regular insurance, to manufacturer coupon. A lot of those you can just go on the website and pull off. So what I typically go to a website like GoodRx, and it should show that there are ways of reducing the cost. And this is for expensive medications that are brand name that don't have an alternative, right?
Hmm.
So instead of spending $250 or $500 a month, you spend 25 bucks. And they do that because they know the insurance company is going to pick up the tab for the rest.
Hmm.
If you're on Medicare, it's based upon your income. It's the patient assistance program. But beyond that, there's actually an 800 number in the book that you can call to get assistance if you just don't know. So there are right ways and wrong ways. The other thing that I think is important is if you're going to get there are 4 questions, and this comes from Tiffany Ryder. I saw her speak, and I went up to her and I said, I need you to write a chapter for me. I need this, right? Because that's that health care advocacy that we talk about. And there are 4 questions that you need to ask every time your doctor prescribes a medication or does something. I just have to find it. Find it. Here we go. So, and again, Tiffany Ryder, Ryder. You can look her up. She has her own channel, has a podcast. Is this treatment essential, or is it to make me feel better, or both? A lot of times you go to the doctor, they're going to prescribe a drug for you, not because you need it, but because they feel like they're obligated to. What
Hmm.
are alternative treatments? What alternative treatments are available, and why are you recommending this one? You need to have a dialogue with your doctor, right? So my dad had bladder cancer, stage 1. They said aggressive. He's 75 years old, and they wanted to do a bladderectomy. Bladderectomy means rip the bladder out, form a new one in your intestine, and life is good, right? Never ask a surgeon whether surgery is recommended, because they're always going to say yes. And my dad said, you know what? I'm good. If the good Lord takes me, I'm fine with it. And you know what they did? With bladders, you can do chemotherapy directly in the bladder, so it doesn't impact you at all. They did some scraping. It's never come back. He's 88 years old. Holy moly, right?
It sounds painful
Bladderectomy,
to,
he would have been already dead because the life expectancy is not long.
right. Yeah, I was
Uh,
gonna say it doesn't the way you describe it, rip out. I mean, just that just doesn't sound.
it is. No, that's what they do.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, are there changes in my diet lifestyle that would improve my condition in addition to or instead of treatment? Right? And think about diabetes. A lot of times if you can reduce weight and be more physically active, you can actually reduce the amount of medications you take or even get off of it. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
And then the final piece is when should I expect to feel better? And what would clue me in to go to urgent care emergency room? Because, okay, I got this. So how long does it take to actually impact me? Because a lot of people might wait too long. And
Mm.
so I want to do a whole segment on helping people be able to talk to their doctors because people don't. They just accept what they're doing verbatim, and you need to have more of a dialogue.
Hmm.
It's, in my opinion, incredibly important to do that.
Yeah, it's a game
Never take
changer.
it at face value.
Yep. It's a game
So
changer if you don't challenge and get a couple opinions too, right?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's what it is. And there are resources on trying to figure out. There's a 340B program for drugs for low income hospitals. Sometimes you can go to their pharmacy and get it. Now, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is changing that up. So, just minor changes, right? And that OBBB, holy crap. I'm not happy about it, but that's the way it is.
Well, how can people reach you, support you? I know they can go to the Amazon and get your book, but what website is there?
Yeah, actually, you can go to Walmart and get my book. You can go to your local bookstore and get my book. They might not have it on stock, but they can order it, right? I
So
think it's important to have
how'd you get
access.
this in Walmart?
Well, they buy from, I think, Ingram Spark.
Yeah,
And so if you go to Walmart, it'll show up. They don't physically have the book, but if you buy it, they get it from them and they have it shipped to you,
gotcha.
kind of like a drop ship.
I got you. Okay.
And also there's bookshop.org for local independent bookstores.
Hmm.
And so what happens is if you're at a bookstore, like I have Anderson's, which is one of the top independent booksellers in the country, right in my town. And so if you go to their website, you can look it up and it's there and they can order it and give it to you.
How are your
So,
sales so far in the book?
um, yeah, average. I mean, it's not like I do a lot of marketing of it.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I want to
I,
help you. I want to help you because this is important. I'm going to obviously connect
yeah, if you go to robertslayton.com,
you. Hmm.
ROBERTSLAYTON.com, that's my author website. So all four books are there. Three out of the four you can just buy. You click on the link and you can do it. That's the easiest way. And if you're a business, if you're a company, you want a strategy session based upon the healthcare manifesto, because again, you can reduce your cost by 20 to 40% on your health insurance if you do it the right way.
Right.
And I have one company where their current cost for insurance is lower than the renewal was in 2019. Think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, all renewals for small groups this year is like 10 to 20%. It's crazy. The larger you are, the more you can do, but you can still take on risk. There's a way of doing it, a right way, a wrong way of doing it. It's in the book. That's all. If you go out to robertslayton.com, you can actually literally request a 15-minute appointment and we can do it. For my passion project, which deals with men's mental health and really helping people in the second phase of their life, um, it's robertslayton.com. And Can I Have a Moment is based upon that too. And what it is, I was just kind of lumping along. And then 2023 happened, and I had three major events happen 3 days in a row. I lost a friend, he died. My long-term girlfriend broke up with me via text. So this is Sunday, this is Monday, and then Tuesday, my daughter had a health event. And she's in Virginia, and I'm in Illinois. And by that third time, it's like, holy crap, it really screwed up my head. And so I realized I was just kind of existing and just living, right? If somebody asked, well, Robert, what do you do for fun? I literally couldn't answer them. I would work, I would come home, and that's about it, right? You wear that badge of honor. And it's like, I need to figure this out. So I became very uncomfortable for the next year, doing things I've never done before. And I found dancing. I love dancing. It's my happy place. It really is. And there were times when I was in the middle of pain and grief, go to the gym, help, but not really. I would go and I would dance, and I do West Coast swing, right? So it's a kind of couples, and you dance with different person every time. Um, you have to focus on the person. You have to focus on the dance,
Mm.
and so that 2 or 3 hours was just it's an oasis from the rest of the life. And yesterday I went dancing because it was Wednesday. I rode my motorcycle and coming home, right? It's evening. It's finally cooled off, no humidity. You're listening to chill tunes, and life doesn't get much better than that. So it's
That's pretty
fun.
cool. Well,
Yeah.
I chill tunes. I guess this is a cue that I want to share one thing with you. You
Yeah.
never know when you're flying who's next to you. And I just sometimes say, hey, just so I don't ask at the end and wish I had asked at the beginning, who are you? What do you do? Kind of thing. And even though it's very cold and filtered, it's so that you don't waste time with them and saying, I want to interrupt you. I don't want to interrupt you. So I just want to know who am I sitting next to? And the guy I was sitting next to, he's the lead guitarist for Herman's Hermits. And
Oh, that's awesome. Is
yes,
that fun?
and I could tell he was a rocker. I mean, I knew he was a musician, but
Yeah.
he knows everyone in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, yeah.
He hung around with them all.
Of course.
So So that was just that. But I also want to say thank you to Beth again, because she has the seize the day, and
Yep.
we seized the day because we had a conversation that moved to action, moved to the show. So I want to say that. And the last thing I want to say is I got the dog tags for Israel for the solidarity
Nice.
hostages, and a guy gave that to me because he saw my Keep Smiling card, and he says this message resonates, that you'll get this as a gift. So it's amazing, but those are three circumstances where what you're talking about, of just who is going to be the person that solves something like this, who's going to guide people so they're not their health ruined, they're not getting their finances ruined.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I want to thank you for that. And the show is extremely valuable, and I have stuff to learn as well about this, Robert. So I appreciate you sharing this. I wanted to ask the five big
Yes.
questions,
Do it.
because these are the bad boys who, if you want to be like Robert, you want to be more nerdish and more successful and definitely more happy and more danceable. I mean, this is danceable stuff here.
I'm a bibliophile. I have bookcases, right? If somebody says, what about this? It's like, so you walk over to the bookcase and they pull off a book and said, I think this is the book you should read.
Well, I will say I have three, but mine are not as organized. So I got a little work to do. I have one of them that's really organized. So here we go. We'll start off with books, actually, for the bibliophile.
Yep.
So to be nice to you, all right. I say, what
Don't be
book changed?
nice.
Oh, I want to for you. So I usually say, what book changed your life? But for you, with three shelves full, you can go up to three if you want.
Okay. So the first book is A Complaint-Free World by Will Bowen. So what happens is you're not allowed to complain for 30 days straight. If you complain, anyone knows 30 days, you go back to day one and start over again. And it's just verbal complaints.
Yeah.
It took me 8 months to get to day three. But what I figured out is the impact of my complaining had on my kids
Mm-hmm.
and my family and other people changed my life. Um, I mean, that's really a huge thing.
That's
And then
the greatest salesman for complaints approach.
it was good. And, it's so basic, but and I would get tripped up because I'm in the car. I'm in the car alone, and I start yelling at the cars around me. That's what tripped me up.
Yeah.
Nobody was in the car. I wasn't complaining to anybody, just myself. It's like, really? But the cool
Right.
part is when you stop complaining, um, that stuff goes away. You don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah.
It's
And
free.
you attract peace. So let's
We'll just leave it at that. We can just do that one book. That's fine.
we'll do rapid fire, not rapid fire with another show. So we're gonna go
Yes,
rapid.
yes.
A movie that inspires you.
Rudy, I think everybody says that.
A lot of people do. You can say the
And
same thing.
and the TV series is Ted Lasso.
Totally. Man, you're good. All right. This is the one that everyone wants to know because you've mentioned dancing so many times. What song gets you going more than any other song?
There are lots of songs. The one that if I wake up to and I hear it is "Good Day" by Forrest Frank.
Because there are a lot of songs you can do too if you want.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, my alarm is set at K-Love because it's positive, encouraging. You said, I'm a Christian, right? You don't have to be a Christian to listen. But I mean, it's just, it's a good day. You listen to it, you feel good. You know what? That carries over to everybody else.
It
That's a good
does.
day.
That is right in line. And we might have to adopt that one for the Keep Smiling movement now. So who is your hero?
Okay. I'm going to go in to do inspirational people, okay?
Yeah.
Because my hero's my dad because he changed his life. He literally was in a job he didn't like, got down on his knees, changed it, moved halfway across the country, did a brand new thing. That takes a hell of a lot of courage
It
and
does.
faith. Inspiring people, Jim Rohn, right? I love Jim Rohn, the business philosopher,
No one's
right?
ever mentioned him before. That's weird. Okay.
He is, so one of his comments is life is, risk. Everybody is afraid to do something because it's risky. Life's risky. You're born, you die. You get married, 50% are end in divorce. It's risky, but you do it anyway, right? Why not just do it?
Right.
Napoleon Hill, I know that hits your heart. And the piece about Napoleon Hill isn't that he wrote all the books, is that he was confronted with the decision to change his life, and he had 1 minute to make that decision, and he chose.
Mhm.
That's what's inspiration for him. So we'll leave it at that.
Great. And then finally, the quote you've been holding all show, the quote that you live by.
Um, Other than the initial quote, the other one is never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity.
Say it again.
Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity.
Hmm.
We have an attribution error, right? So if somebody does something, we think they did it on purpose, they did it to us. The answer is they didn't even notice. They're not thinking.
Mhm.
And and so again, it's all about your state, right? Your internal state. You need to keep who you are, you. And so if somebody cuts you off in traffic, you don't think, oh, they did that on purpose. Well, maybe their wife's pregnant and currently delivering a child, right?
Mhm.
Maybe there's something going on. Allow them to go. It changes your state. You feel better, right?
Right.
Now you're better able to interact with other people. I mean, frankly, with my second child, um, between the time that the first contraction and she was born was 50 minutes, and we had to drive 25 miles to get to the hospital. So during a rainstorm, and I ran a red light to get there because 4 pushes after she arrived, she came out. So yeah. Next,
That is it. That's
what
the
am I
big,
currently reading? Oh, no, that's fine.
you added
Okay,
that
good.
one. So you added that one. Okay.
I did add that one.
Well, Robert, you're awesome. I want to say that I picked this shirt today because of how you make me feel about imagine.
There we go. Well,
So,
it's all about possibility. Just do stuff, right? I
yes.
mean, if you think about everything that you've done, I mean, you've done amazing stuff, right? And and how did you do that? You said you made a decision and you just kind of went for it. That's all. And here's the thing, people have an infinite capacity to fix things that go south. That's what people forget, right? We're going this way, crap hits the fan, so you fix it. So you get
Mhm.
back. That's the way it is. And that's okay.
Well,
And
there's
it totally goes down the drain. So what? You got an education. Please.
well, there's
Just,
a segue to this and
yes,
this, and that is
exactly.
imagine all the people living for today. So,
I love
Robert,
that.
so thank you for
I love
being on the
that.
show. You are awesome. I'm so glad to have you as a friend, and I look forward to
It's a
seeing you at the
pleasure.
next event soon. And thank you for being part of the authothon and all the people that you're going to ripple. I mean, the quote by Charlie Tremendous Jones, the difference in where you are today and where you'll be 5 years from now, are the people you meet in the books you read. Well, you certainly are a wealth of knowledge as well as a wealth of network.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Well,
You're
thank you.
listening to Dr. Smiley and the Dr. Smiley Show. Please follow Robert. You'll have a better life, you'll have better health, and you'll have better wealth. So really, really loved the material today. And it is so vital that people that want to ignore this could actually one day say, wow, he made a difference in how I approach this. And by the way, there's tons of people that you love that have health concerns. This is for them as well.
Mhm.
So have a great day.
Thank you.
Keep smiling.
Absolutely.